Órale.
Hi.
Ando como los viejitos yo, baby.
Why?
Ando con la suero y la Julio donde quiera. Chinga, no puedo ir a ningún restaurante. Tengo que llevar mi Mr. Rogers. Pero me pongo la de Roman Reigns, papá.
Levels above.
Para que sepan. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Special Monday night. You know we do candidates on Monday nights. And tonight we have a very special candidate. This show's brought to you by the campaign to re-elect Mayra Flores for Congress. Vámonos, Recio. Asústame one time. Y pues aquí tenemos a Mayra con nosotros. How you doing, Mayra?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Es todo, ¿no? Thank you for coming. Y pues,
Let's have fun.
un guapanguito, ya sabes. Te criaste con esta música, ¿tú, verdad?
Claro que sí.
Es todo.
Desde Burgos, Tamaulipas, sí, señor.
Órale. Where about is that little town in Tamaulipas?
Cerquita de San Fernando.
Okay. That doesn't know. But I know Las Flores, Reynosa y Matamoros. Is San Fernando south of Matamoros?
Yes.
¿Sí?
Yes.
Aquí tenemos una voz también aquí en el lado, ¿no? Es el management. Ay, asústame one time. So it's south of Matamoros. What was the name of that ranch where they found Kilroy, right? Wasn't it like San Fernando?
Sí, ahí en
Yeah.
San Fernando. That's true.
That's where it was, right?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Con aquella Constanzo. I remember. How old were you when that happened?
I don't know, but it was a long time ago.
Were you weren't living in
No.
over there?
I came here when I was 6 years old, so I grew up here in the RGV.
¿En qué año te viniste para acá? Well, you were 6.
Early 90s. I
Early
was born in
90s.
86.
86.
I was born in 86.
Sí, estás bien chavala todavía.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, oye.
Oh,
Hubo
wow.
cohetes en la familia de los
All
Flores.
right.
Pues you're not
Claro que
Flores.
sí.
Are you originally Flores?
Yeah, Flores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Órale. So, you were born in, what was the name of the town again?
Burgos, Tamaulipas.
Burgos, Tamaulipas. B-U-R-G. Because do you know, you have a Wikipedia.
Uh-oh.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've looked up ourselves before.
Are you the one that created it or?
No.
Someone else did.
Hey, no, hombre. And then you got to keep track on that because sometimes Wikipedia can be a little bit, they put some misinformation, disinformation, all that stuff. Before we get to her Wikipedia, I got to introduce my wife. She's the one handling all the, what's going on, sweetheart?
Hello. Good evening to everyone. Shout out to everyone that's on the chat zone already. Tripa, Sal in the house, Selena Tafoya, Luis Osuna, and Señor Rudo. Everyone else, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
And we've got Chaz. We haven't had anybody handling the chat for the past few weeks on candidate night, but we've got Chaz coming in playing some overtime here this week, and he's going to be taking your questions and your comments. You can super chat us, right, Chaz?
That is correct. And speaking of aging, as soon as Riley put the AC just on 1 degree colder, I was like, Riley, get me a hoodie, man.
¿Tú también, carnal?
I mean, I got all congested.
Tráele la salud.
I mean, as you get older, your body does not participate. It doesn't
Comenzó a correr todo el moquerío y la chingada. No, hombre,
I
quédate.
was like, hijueso.
My knee started
Tráele
hurting
unas
too.
baby aspirins, baby, por favor. No
yeah.
quiero que le va a pegar un resfrío,
I need
chingada.
some baby Percy.
Baby Percy, remember that shit? Wasn't that for an upset stomach, bro?
Yeah, Percy
It was for
medicine.
everything.
Oye, esa es una de las jackets que iba a tirar en el cajón.
Yeah.
Allá. I was gonna, because I'm starting to empty out my closet, ladies and gentlemen. And saqué un saco and I'm throwing some coats in there and my wife's pulling them out.
Rock literally was going to throw this away. And he goes, hey. And I kind of was like this. Like, Señor. Señor. And then and he threw it. And he goes, and then he gave me a Red Bull.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is at some point I'm going to pass out. But before I pass out, I will be in the chat zone.
Es todo.
And I will be passing along any questions that you have for Mayra, as tonight she's honoring Selena.
Yeah. Los bangs.
Look at that
Parece un
purple.
poquito.
You look beautiful, by the way. You look
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Mayra, what is your favorite Selena song? Come on.
Amor Prohibido. Bidi Bidi Bum Bum.
Uh-huh.
I love all her songs, honestly. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A mí también. Vamos a ver, vamos a ver.
There we go. It is Selena night.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we miss her so much.
Yeah.
Sí, bamba.
You were 10 years old when she passed away, when she was murdered. 1996.
And I still remember we were actually on our way to Mexico. My dad had a van at the time. It was a yellow-brown van. And I remember hearing it in the radio as we were on our way to Burgos.
Yeah.
And so it was a day that impacted us. Even though I was, just a little girl, it impacted us all.
Yeah. It was pretty incredible. And, it's just like, it's almost 30 years in 2026.
It impacted everybody. I mean,
Everybody, the entire country, the entire world.
There was a deal going on that, I think Yolanda Saldivar is supposed to be released next year, the 2025 or something like that. So there's this thing on Oxygen, they're just, I don't know, they're trying to get her side of the story or whatever.
whatever.
I put on social media, I'm not even going to watch that. It's probably a
Absolutely
bunch
not.
of bullshit, I knew that lady before she committed what she did, and she was a hang around, and it's shocking what she did, and I don't think I can ever forgive her for that.
Rock, what was your initial impression of her when you met her? What did you have an impression of her?
Well, not back then I was like, it was just so much fun, and she was handling her fan club, and then she did a little event for her at a place called Desperados over there, and then gave her this egg, because she used to Selena used to collect these eggs, these like
Oh, wow.
what are they called?
The Russian egg?
Somebody's gonna know that's watching. They were these special. They have a name. These eggs. So she gave her one, and she made a little shindig for her and everything. And then when I was in the studio, she was recording Amor Prohibido. She'd be there sitting in the studio, on one of the couches. So, but we were
They should
totally
have given
shocked.
her life, honestly. They should have given her life.
I just I don't know why she would want to come out and start talking bullshit or whatever, and I'm not gonna watch that. I'm not even gonna support it. I don't really care about it.
Neither will I.
And
Fabergé.
I actually made Fabergé.
There you
Yeah,
go.
did they say that? Those Fabergé eggs.
I googled it. Yeah.
That's what she good. My wife googled it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was like, I know what it's called, but I don't know what it is.
I also did. I remember it was a shampoo or something, right?
Yeah.
Fabergé.
Yeah, also Brute.
Brute Fabergé.
Fabergé.
Yeah, that's right.
I would wear Brute.
Yeah.
So I remember Fabergé.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it was just shocking when it happened. We went. I went to Corpus, and I spent some time there with. I was looking for Chris. After it happened, and I got to their house, because it was Mr. Quintanilla's house, Selena's house, and then AB's house, and they were all on one block, like all together, all fenced by the same fence and everything. And I get there, and they recognized me right away. I got to the fence because there was just so many people outside the house.
I can't imagine.
And then Chris's friend was taking care of the fence. He goes, "Hey, Rock, come on in." So they got me in. I went into the living room of the house, and Chris's mom said he's in the bedroom. So I went into the bedroom, and Chris was laying on the floor with his guitar surrounding him. And he saw me, he got up, and we just hugged, and we cried. And it was like, what the hell happened with this Yolanda, bro? What the fuck, Like, I don't know, bro, man.
We'll
It was
never
just-
forgive her for
yeah.
that.
And then when I left, he came out of the room, and his mom said, wow, he hasn't been out of that room for days. And thank you for coming and taking him out of there. Man, some pretty crazy stuff. But Selena. Myra's got the Selena look happening tonight. Qué bueno. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
And
Happy to be here.
we want to let everybody know that early voting starts tomorrow. Okay, early voting February 20th through March 1st, as you can see it on your TV screen there. And then voting election day is in March 5th, 2024. Okay. And you can go and find Mayra at MyraFloresForCongress.com. Okay, so you go to her website and you find out all the information about Mayra. And Mayra, you became the congresswoman, right?
That's right. I actually became the first Mexican-born congresswoman ever elected in history, and no one can take that away from us. And I was very proud of that day because I want more Hispanics, more Latinos, more of us to be able to lead and be leaders in this country.
Yeah.
We would do a much better job than what they're doing right now.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
We have the values and the work ethic.
How was it when you well, first of all, I want to go back to, I'm jumping ahead, but Burgos.
You want to go back to Burgos? Let's go back.
How was it growing up in that area?
Amazing.
See?
I had a beautiful childhood. Burgos is an amazing small town. People of faith, of strong family values, amazing work ethic. We just have so much fun, and I don't go as often as I used to because of everything that's happening in Mexico, but my grandparents and my family still live there, so we do visit when we can. But yeah, I had the best childhood, and I didn't want to come at 6 years old. I remember not wanting to come. I actually wanted to stay with my grandparents, but my dad knew that it was what was best for us, to come here to the United States. And I thank him now because I would have not had the opportunities that I have here in the United States and in Mexico. It's a lot more difficult, in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to my dad. My dad is an American citizen, so he was able to file right away for us to come here. Even though I was born in Mexico, we were my citizenship derives from my dad, who's an American citizen. So I had a very different experience from a lot of people. So I'm very blessed that I had the opportunity to come here to the United States.
¿Se movieron de Burgos para Brownsville? ¿Ahí te criaste en Brownsville?
No, fíjate que fue Riondo.
Ah, sí?
Oh. Yes. I went to elementary school in Rojondo. Then later on, we moved to San Benito, and I went to school there, Berta Cavazza Middle School.
Okay.
And then I graduated from San Benito in 2004.
Wow, so you're a Greyhound.
I'm a Greyhound.
There you go.
I love San Benito.
Was Chaz Corona ahí? Charlie?
Freddie Fender.
Yeah.
Everybody mentions him. Every time I mention San Benito, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
People from San Benito never let it go. They always bring it up.
We're not letting it go, okay?
No, we don't. I met somebody from Harlingen one time, and I was like, I'm from San Benito. And they go, oh, you guys are so proud.
Yeah.
Like, they
Why not? I love San Benito. We have, also amazing food, amazing raspas as well. I love it. I love growing up there.
You moved there in, 91, 92, ¿verdad? Because you were 6 years old, you said?
I was 6 years old, yes. So I moved to Rojondo, then I moved to San Benito. But my parents were migrant workers, so we moved a lot growing up. 6 months out of the year, we would be here in South Texas.
Okay.
And then 6 months out of the year, we would go up north, a small town called Memphis, Texas. It's right by Amarillo.
Yeah.
And have family there as well. And we would go work in the cotton fields. We did hoeing.
Los pueblitos allá.
Yeah, we did hoeing for many years. I was 13 years old when I started working alongside
Puro
my
asadón.
parents. Puro asadón. But you know what? Those were the good days.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was able to make money, to buy my own things. And at the same time, I had time to enjoy my childhood.
Sí.
I loved it.
Fíjate.
I loved it.
Los pueblitos allá, Muleshoe, Brownfield, Tahoka.
Anybody from Memphis, Texas? Hello.
Yeah, Memphis, Texas.
Yes, I have amazing memories from there too.
Yeah.
Amazing childhood. And my dad worked at a peanut factory there as well.
Sí.
Yes, he worked there for many years.
Oye, cuando se iban para allá, ¿le ponían tablas en las ventanas y todo eso o no? Porque I remember when I was growing up as a kid,
Yes.
in the 70s, in the summer, you'd go around town and there would be homes with plywoods all over the windows.
No.
And they were the ones that were up north working. That's how we would know.
Our family lived really close, so they always took care of the home.
Okay.
We would always go back to the same house.
Sí.
Yeah, we ended up selling it after we moved, for sure here in South Texas. I was a senior when my dad said, okay, we're not going back, we're going to stay here, he got into the trucking business, and he's been doing that ever since I was a senior. But it was hard, moving a lot growing up. But at the same time, I always had my friends here in South Texas waiting for me, and I also had my friends up in Memphis waiting for me. So I was very blessed, and I'm glad because I got to understand two different cultures. Because here in South Texas, Hispanics are the majority. It's very different. And then in Memphis, Texas, I was the minority because everyone there was African American or white. So there was only a few Hispanics in the school, but honestly, I never got treated any different. It was good times. We didn't see color,
I know, right?
No,
or gender or anything.
None of that. We had
everybody
so much
was just
fun.
saying, if you were cool, you were cool. I mean,
Absolutely. It wasn't until I got into politics that people were like, but you're a woman of color. I was like, I am.
Yeah.
I never realized.
I
never realized any of that because I got treated, with love and respect here in South Texas. I got treated with love and respect up in Memphis, Texas. I was very blessed.
Yeah.
And I was very blessed.
How were you in school? Were you in academics? Like, besides academics, were you in sports or band, or were you?
I was in band. I played the flute.
Okay.
I wasn't great at it, but
you know how to read music then.
I did my thing.
I see.
Played some basketball.
Okay.
But being a migrant kid, it was very difficult because I could never really finish the sport. I would start basketball, but not really finish the season because we would have to come down here in South Texas, because I would be here from January to May here in South Texas, and then right after school finished in May, we would go up north, and I wouldn't come back till January. So.
Usually, I remember families going up north. They'd be gone May, June, July, August, and maybe some of September. And some of them would show up in October, but it was always just summer. You're over there during the cold weather? Are you kidding me?
Yes, I would. I didn't work all those months. I just worked the summers as well. But my dad would work in a peanut factory.
Okay, yeah.
As soon as August started, he would start working at a peanut factory, and along with my mom as well.
I remember one time we played over there in Brownfield, and we're on our way back, and I started seeing this. I've told this story before. I started seeing something huge moving in the distance way over there, and it's just plain red dirt, flat, barren land, right? And then I see it, and the closer we get, it's getting closer to the road. So I guess that animal's going to cross the road as soon as we get closer. And it was tumbleweed. I had never seen tumbleweed in my entire life. It was great. Have you ever seen tumbleweed, Chaz?
Never.
It's very common up there.
Dude, I had never seen it. It's huge. It was a big, round.
I've only seen it in the Clint Eastwood westerns. So
and Bugs Bunny, right? And Bugs
Bunny as well.
Yeah.
They're real, and we would go hunting after school as well. I love the childhood that I grew up in.
Mayra, are you familiar with Happy, Texas? Is there a Happy, Texas that you've heard of? A little town?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
There's a Brownwood or Brown... maybe Brownfield, I don't know, but Waylon Jennings is from that area.
Yeah.
También.
It's Memphis, Texas, by Amarillo, by the Panhandle. Yeah, that's
Se
where
pone
it's at.
frío para allá.
Bien frío.
Hielo.
Bien frío. We would get snow. That's why for me it's kind of hard to understand whenever they cancel school here when it's not that cold.
I know, right?
And our parents would force us to go to school in the snow. My mom was always putting us a bunch of, Vicks and Carmex, but you were going to school, no excuse.
Parecías una garrapata, ¿verdad? Andando con todos los sacos y la chingada.
Yes.
I mean, yo le dije a mi wife when it was really cold a couple of weeks ago, it was in the 30s, right?
Yeah, it was cold.
I was like, okay, there's school cancellations here. There's this. I'm like, I remember walking to school in the mid 70s, and all I could hear was the crunch of ice under my feet. And I walked 7 blocks to get to school.
Different times,
Yeah.
It was, I feel a lot safer because I would always go biking as well as a little girl and get lost into town.
Yeah.
And get back home late, and it was safe. It was different times. It's so sad that, our kids can't ride the bikes, like we used to. I'm sure they still go out there and allow my kids as well, but we have to supervise them because you just never know with everything that's happening.
I freak out with also social media. What's the long-term effects on this young generation that's, like TikTok, I noticed that there's children that are on TikTok just watching it all day, and they believe everything they see,
Because they're children, so I do think it's important that parents, protect their children from social media. My son, my oldest, didn't get to have social media till he was almost 17, and he was like begging for a long time. But I respect every parent's decision, of course, but personally I was just afraid, and till this day I tell him to be very careful what he puts out there on social media, because I feel like they go back and they'll never forgive you for something you did a long time ago. And our children are going to make mistakes in life, but if it's on social media, it stays there forever. And that's why it's important that we protect our children from social media and what they're putting out there. For them to be aware that, hey, you put something out there, it's going to be here forever, and you're going to grow up and you're going to mature. 10 years from now, you're going to be like, why did I post that? Why did I say that? And they're going to use that against you, unfortunately. So we do have to be very careful and have that conversation with your kids.
It's pretty interesting when I think about that, because like I said, we don't know the long-term effects on these kids that are growing up. My kids are probably the last generation that knows or knew what it was to live without a cell phone. Now it's like kids and cell phones seem to be pretty prevalent. Like there was a school, I think, upstate that decided to ban phones, and the kids had a cow. I mean, it was a big protest.
Wow.
And I ran into this guy. He's an algebra teacher at a school here in the Valley. And he was like, he said, you know what, Rock? I go, what? He goes, it used to be where I can tell which one of the students didn't belong in my class. And now I can tell which one of the students does belong in my class. He goes, I can't get them off their phone.
Oh, my goodness. I know it's so hard. But I think it goes back to the parents.
There's got to be some, the thing about phones, it makes us very impulsive. I mean, it used to be where like, okay, we get a page, we'll wait till we get to a phone and call.
Or addicting too.
Now you have to,
very addicting.
You have to respond. Like somebody texts you, you better respond right away. Like you're driving, you got to respond. Wait, dude, maybe when you get to a red light or something. But it's
I know it was actually brought up to my attention. Somebody texted me and said, hey, it's been a few hours since I texted you and no response. Like, I'm sorry.
I know people.
I'm busy. Like
people expect.
I can't reply right away.
Yeah, people expect a response right away, especially when the woman's texting her husband or her man, right? Quiere el pinche response ahorita.
Instantly.
Yeah, the first text is like regular letters. What are you doing? And then you don't answer. The next text, what the hell are you doing? And then the next text, puros pinches capital letters.
Oh, you're in trouble. Capital letters,
It's tough.
One time my wife, she texted me in capital letters. You know what? You know what I told her? You know what I texted back? No me grites.
Oh, my
me
goodness.
grites. No me grites.
I love it.
Yeah, so it says here, Mayra Noemi Flores.
Mayra Noemi Flores.
That's your middle name?
That's my middle name.
January 1st, 1986, an American politician who represented Texas' 34th Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives. From 2022 to 2023, a member of the Republican Party. She was the first female Mexican-born member of the House. When you became the Congresswoman, it kind of like just catapulted you into the public eye, didn't it?
It was tough.
How did you handle that? How was that?
I stayed true to myself, I kept, God first and surrounded myself with my family, who have been my, my backbone, my strength. And that's what kept me grounded. But all that was honestly new to me. I was not in politics before. I was a respiratory therapist. I went to school and graduated as a respiratory therapist practitioner. And I helped the elderly community and children here in South Texas for 7 years. And I loved my job. But I decided to get involved in politics because I wanted Washington to see South Texas. I wanted them to know who we were and to pay attention and that our voice mattered, because for a long time we were taken for granted. And you saw that. Everybody saw that. All of a sudden now they're investing. Good. Now they're working. Good. That's what you were supposed to be doing. So my goal here is to get them to work. I don't care what side you're on, but if you're not getting things done, you should be voted out. We shouldn't be loyal to no political party. You know, I'm Republican, but my loyalty is in my faith in God, my family, and the people that put me in this position. You know, I'm always going to do what's right for the American people, not what's right politically. And I think it's time that we have elected members of Congress, senators, and a president as well that does what's right, not what's right politically.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayra Flores for Congress. This show's brought to you by the campaign to re-elect Mayra Flores for Congress. And you can find her at her website at MayraFloresForCongress.com. Go to that website, help her out. Do you take donations through there as well?
Absolutely. I'm really grateful to everyone who has donated to our campaign. We've been able to do so much because of the love and the support of the people of Texas 34. And honestly, throughout the entire country, everybody has been very supportive because they understand the importance of this race and what we're wanting to do. So I humbly ask everyone for their support. If you're not able to, a comment, sharing our social media message as well makes a huge difference. It's important that we start spreading the chisme.
Yeah.
The chisme.
You know, you were like, you were a first for, you know, in many ways, the first Hispanic congresswoman, right? That's from Mexico. And you would think that the news media would have celebrated that. So huge, right?
No, they wanted to send me back to Mexico.
I know, right? I mean, that's what really was shocking.
And the things that I want are just common sense, you know? I just want opportunities for South Texas.
Yeah, but you know, the news, they're all about, you know, diversity, equity, or whatever, inclusion, fine.
Not if you're Republican.
Right. I mean, if you, you would have thought that they would have celebrated you like huge.
Right.
But it didn't happen.
I was in, you know, the wrong taco.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the wrong party.
Well, let me tell you, I was very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, I was really, you gave me some pride being what you became, you know, here locally. Now, the 34th district, congressional district, it's what part of the valley is that? That's Brownsville, some of McAllen.
All Cameron County.
Okay.
Willacy, Kennedy, Claiborne County, and part of Hidalgo as well. Part of McAllen as well. Not all McAllen, but part of McAllen. For Elsa as well. West Laco, Mercedes. It's a small part of.
Does it go up to the coastal bend, or does it cover any of that area, or is it just here locally?
Just here, Hidalgo. Yeah, it's just a small piece of Hidalgo. But like I said, it's McAllen, a little bit of Annenberg, a little bit of Elsa, Far as well, a little bit of San Juan as well, West Laco, Mercedes, Los Fresnos as well. But it goes all the way up to Kingsville, which is Claiborne County.
Órale. Let's go to Chaz, man. You got any questions, any comments, or any shout-outs you've got there, Chaz, on the Chad Zone?
Yeah, it runs the gamut from very, very softball questions to a little bit more in depth. But let's start off with a softball. What is your favorite Mexican food? I mean,
Tacos.
Tacos. Yeah.
Los tacos de plebe. Oh, man.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Have you gone to Plebes, Tacos Plebe, on Main Street?
No ha ido.
Oh, no, hombre, oye.
Oh, yeah. We got to take her.
Yeah, they have quesadilla taquitos. They have like queso in between the tortillitas, and then they have y le echan para llenar. Yo y my wife con un plato tenemos.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I go a lot to Calacas.
Calacas?
Yes, I love their tacos. They have a location here in Far, but they have one also in Harlingen, Bronzeville.
¿A cuáles te gustan más? ¿Trompo o bistec?
De bistec.
Órale, bistec.
De bistec con una michelada al lado.
Órale. Y
Can't go
también
wrong.
una cilantro con una cebolla. ¿Quieres la cebollita guisada o quieres la cebollita cruda? Sí.
No, guisada.
Guisada, ¿verdad?
Pero también cruda, no importa.
¿No?
No, me gustan los dos.
Órale. Y un chilito, of course, ¿no?
Claro.
Of course.
Eso también
Salsa.
want that. Yeah.
Yes, that's my
Let's
favorite.
do this one. This is a good one. It covers pretty broad. This is from Sergio Gonzalez. What's up, Sergio? He says, what are some of the changes that you would like to see happen in Congress?
Well, I would love to stop the overspending. You know, right now, while we were asleep just last week, they approved $95 billion in foreign aid. None of that included any, border security or anything for us in South Texas. And we have an obligation of members of Congress to bring back the bacon, to our districts.
Yeah.
And that's not what's happening. They're prioritizing everyone else but us. And right now, we cannot continue printing money. Our children do not deserve for us to leave a country that is $40,000 trillion in debt, because that's exactly where we'll be in a few years from now. Right now, we're about $35 trillion in debt. And for us to get out of that, each American would have to pay $100,000 for us to get out of debt.
Yeah.
So we have to stop the overspending. We need to bring down the cost of living. My heart goes out to everyone who is living on minimum wage. There's just no way you could survive right now on minimum wage. It's just not right. It's just un-American what's happening right now. We have to bring down the cost of living to match the current wages. Right now, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They're a paycheck away from being homeless.
And not only that.
That's not the American dream. That's not what it's about. So I would love to, hold them accountable, put America first, bring down jobs here to South Texas so our children don't have to leave South Texas for better opportunities. I want people to come here to South Texas to accomplish the American dream, and that's my dream, where everyone comes here to South Texas, to find good jobs here, because we are leaving South Texas.
Yeah.
No, I want them to come here, that everybody wants to be a part of South Texas.
I can see some big corporations here, industry here.
But they don't
in
want
the Rio
that.
Grande
There's a
Valley.
lot of restrictions that are stopping them.
Yeah.
Because when I was in office, I saw those restrictions.
Regulations.
And they have to be removed. But it feels like a lot of our elected officials want this area to stay poor. They want this area to continue depending on the government so they can continue controlling us. And I support, all people. I understand that everyone goes through different difficult times, but I want to give people opportunities to get out of that as well. And it feels like the government right now just wants to get stuck here. They don't want us to thrive.
It's interesting because back in the 90s, I remember Fruit of the Loom. The company was in
I
Harlingen,
do.
Rio Hondo, close to Rio Hondo.
Absolutely.
I used to go do family picnics there, and
Actually, my
I
parents
would
worked
DJ.
there for a few months.
Yeah, I would DJ, and the families were all there. They'd have a little carnival. Everybody was happy.
That's right.
They had industry. They were working. And then you had Hager's, and then you had Carter's in Edinburgh. They were all garment factories and stuff. And then all of a sudden, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. And all those people that had
How do we
those
bring them
jobs
back?
were gone. And I think I don't know if they moved them just across or what, or where they went. I mean, because companies are outsourcing all the work.
They went to China.
Yeah.
And we got to bring those jobs back here to United States. We got to, put the American people first. That's what it's all about, honestly, because I feel like this government treats us like second class.
Yeah. Any other questions there?
I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but fair to say that you want to help the middle class become
Absolutely.
back.
We are the backbone of this
Yeah.
country, the middle class. Without the middle class, we're nothing. And the government is nothing. Thanks to us, we're able to keep the government, afloat. But we have to continue supporting the middle class and also the small businesses as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayra Flores for Congress, and that's her website. Once again, early voting is on the 20th.
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow already. You can start
Already.
early voting, and it'll be going on through March 1st, and then March 5th is Election Day, but you might want to get it taken care of with the early
Absolutely.
voting. And then also, once again, you can go to her website, and it's MyraFloresForCongress.com. And that way you can help her out, donate a few bucks and help her cause out, and let's get her back in D.C., right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the support. I would not be here where I am today if it wasn't because of all the love and support from everyone.
What did you learn about D.C. the first time you served as a congresswoman?
The first week I got there, I was like, how did I get here? The second week, I was like, how did they get here?
Holy smoke.
I was like, wait a minute. We are very qualified to do this. And that's when I realized that they've been lying to us and telling us that it only takes certain people to become members of Congress, when we need more of us, more of your everyday American.
Is there cliques over there? There's cliques?
Sí.
between senators and
Sí, tienen sus clicas, claro que
Yeah.
sí. Yeah. I did not belong to any of that, to be honest
I
with
can
you.
just imagine.
I was tried to, but now I was my own, and I was always able to.
Did anybody befriend you or like tell you or try to guide you and help you and be and like
Absolutely. Our Texas delegation was always very supportive, and they were there for me. But ultimately, I had an amazing team that guided me through everything. And like I said, I realized within a week, I was like, wait a minute, we could do this, and we could do this so much better. I will never forget how we were able to help the Zapata family who lost their son in Mexico.
Yeah, the shootout.
Yeah, and they had been waiting for his benefits for over 10 years. And we were able to handle that within 3 weeks.
We had his partner on the show. He was running for Texas.
Yes, Avila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him on the show. He wrote a book
Absolutely.
about what happened on that highway in Mexico.
So we were able to handle a lot of things that we saw that had been pending for a long time. And we got to work right away. And I'm very, like I said, I realized that we need more of us. Everyday Americans that understand the struggle, what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, to start running this country. We need more teachers in Congress. We need more mothers, more fathers, police officers. We need plumbers, we need law enforcement. We need everyone, electricians. We need every real American with real experiences start running this country. We have a lot of people in Congress and in the Senate that are very disconnected. They don't understand our struggle and how every bill that they put in place and that they pass is going to impact real people, real lives, their pockets. And right now, that's what it's all about. I want to bring back, the bacon back to Texas 34, to South Texas. I want people to have more money in their pockets. Right now, it feels like all we do is work and work and work. They're just saying that in Spanish que el dinero va y viene. Pero ahorita nomás veo que nomás se va, no regresa. ¿Dónde está el dinero? Money comes and goes, but right now it just feels like it just goes. It's not coming back to us.
Yeah, half a cart at the supermarket is like $200 bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It feels like all we do is work just to barely make it, just to survive. We're having to sacrifice our family time, our family vacation. What are our elected officials sacrificing? Nothing. They're not sacrificing. They're just, overspending our money. If we don't have money to send abroad, then we don't send it. Just like we pay our own bills, we're not out there paying our neighbors' bills. We're paying our bills first. If we're able to help others, absolutely. But right now, we're sending billions of dollars that we don't have, that we're going to print, instead of focusing here in the United States, when most Americans right now are struggling. It's just not fair. Americans who are struggling with illnesses right now, you have a lot of people who are suffering cancer, who are going through a very difficult time, financially. We should be helping these families. There's a lot of families right now that are struggling financially because their child is battling cancer, because they're battling cancer themselves. It's not fair that we're sending all these billions of dollars and not helping these families. Our healthcare here in the United States is broken. We need a good, quality, affordable healthcare. Nothing is free. I get it. But we have to do more for the American people, because at the end of the day, it's our money, and we should be able to invest it in our own. And that's something that touches me very close, the medical, because I work with children and I saw how much suffering, parents went through with their children. And we need to do more for these parents that have, children that are battling cancer, or those who are battling cancer. We need to help them, because that's the last thing that they should worry about.
I watch, news and stuff like that. And about the border, they're always talking about, we need comprehensive immigration reform. Comprehensive. I mean, I hear that over and over again. But I never hear of okay, what is it? What is comprehensive immigration reform? Do the Republicans have any type of, plan for that they can, serve up to the Democrats, since they're the ones saying, hey, they gave up on this bill and we're going to just let 5,000 in. If any over 5,000 people came in, and we're going to close the border and this and that, all these kind of little things, right? But I don't know if that's comprehensive or what. What is the idea for the Republicans as far as comprehensive immigration? Do you know that?
Well, the House Democrats have a whole different description of an immigration reform. They just want to allow everyone come in here into the United States illegally, and they want to legalize everyone into the United States. And Republicans, for them, it's a little bit different. We want to focus on legal immigration, helping those who have been waiting for a long time, making the process faster, legal immigration, not illegal immigration. So we have two different, ideas of what a
Pero
immigration
ahorita, I
reform-
mean, there's people waiting 10 years to see the judge.
Right, it's a slap on the face.
There
to
has
those
to be
people.
some sort of stop or something like, okay, we're gonna stop asylum seekers for 6 months, no more asylum, and then let's try to figure this out and see what we could do.
We need to put back in place the policies that were working. The remain in Mexico. We have to end the catch and release. We just have to allow our Border Patrol agents to enforce the laws that we already have in place right now. I mean, Biden, he had been a senator for 50 years. He actually put in laws while he was a senator. He needs to allow our Border Patrol agents to enforce his own laws he put in place when he was a senator to enforce our immigration laws that he clearly forgot. But we already have laws. He doesn't need Congress to secure the border. He can make that happen. It's not right what's happening at the border right now. Again, it's a slap on the face on the American people. Border security keeps the American people safe, but also keeps migrants safe. Under the Biden administration, we have actually lost over 1,000 migrants. We've had more deaths under this administration. We've also lost track, the Biden administration has lost track of 85,000 children. We don't know where these children are at. So these children come in with a little paper in their pocket, with a phone number, and the Biden administration just sends these children to their so-called sponsors, but we're not making sure if they're actually related to the child. If they're coming in and they're not able to prove with documentation that they're related to the child, we should be doing DNA testing. We were actually doing DNA testing in the previous administration within 1 hour.
With Trump?
That's right. We were doing DNA testing in 1 hour. You could get the results. And 30% of those that were tested would come back negative, that they were actually not related to the child. 30%. And we were able to prosecute them. So that's not being done right now. So these children could potentially be sold into child trafficking. The United States is, on top on child pornography and child trafficking. It's a reality that it's happening. And I think that this shouldn't be politicized. If those of you who have not watched Sound of Freedom, I recommend it for you to go out and watch it.
Jim Caviezel.
We need more awareness, and I believe that we need to put in place laws that put these monsters in prison for the rest of their life. Look, I believe in second opportunities, but these people need to be in prison for the rest of their life. Anybody who abuses and takes advantage of a child should be in prison forever. And I just think that it's sad that they're not prioritizing the safety of these children. For me, I don't care what the status of these children are. I just want to make sure that they're safe. But yet, a few weeks ago, I was being attacked by the local media. It was Texas Tribune, because I wanted to do DNA testing, because I want to bring back DNA testing. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me wanting to make sure that these children are safe and that they're actually going to be with their families? Because we have an obligation. If we're not sending them back to their families back home, and if this government is going to be sending them to anybody, we got to make sure that they're safe. And also in the United States, 400,000 children go missing every year. So this is a problem for America, but this is why I'm always calling on border security. It keeps the American people safe. It keeps these children safe as well. And it defunds the cartel as well, because the cartel is making $13 billion a year off of human trafficking. $13 billion a year.
Big money.
Big money. And I want to, I have family in Mexico, and I know most of you as well have family in Mexico, and you don't go to Mexico as often as you used to. I mean, you're lying if you're saying that you feel safe in Mexico, but we don't feel safe in Mexico. And I want us to be able to go visit our loved ones and not be afraid. But we're not able to because of the cartel. And now they're just more powerful than ever because they're making billions and billions. They're better funded than our own Border Patrol agents,
Yeah.
And that's why border security is so important. And we do need some type of immigration reform, but the legal process, we need to improve the legal process. But look, the Democrat Party, Obama, Biden promised an immigration reform. I think, Biden said within 100 days he would have it done. And he hasn't. And they won't do it. Why? Because they want to continue using this issue every election just to manipulate the Hispanic community. But they have no intentions in fixing this issue. Why? Because it's a way to get the Hispanics out to vote. But I'm so glad to see Hispanics waking up and realizing that they've been played and that they're not going to, commit to their promises, that they just want to use them for their vote. So it's so important that the Hispanic community rises up and that they put themselves, their families first to improve the economy in this country. Because if this country falls apart, it hurts everyone. It hurts our families back wherever they're at in Latin America or Mexico. Many of us have families and, we help them as much as we can. But with this economy, it's very difficult. So that's why we have to fight for a strong economy in this country so we can be able to sustain our own families wherever they're at.
Would you have voted to impeach Mayorkas if you were in Congress?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What he's done, to our Border Patrol agents, to the American people, and again, to these children, he does not deserve to be in that position. I think it's important that we send a strong message.
Yeah, I was watching Greg Abbott. He took over that park in Eagle Pass, and there was like 5,000 to 6,000 immigrants a day crossing, and it's down to like 6.
No,
they put the barbed wire and all that stuff.
It's working, but unfortunately they're going to go somewhere else and cross.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so important that the federal government, changes the policies, because this is not going to stop until the Biden administration allows our Border Patrol agents to enforce the laws all across.
What did you think of Abbott busing all the immigrants to Chicago and New York and Denver? I just heard in El Paso that the mayor was saying, we're not going to take them from Denver, because Denver's sending them back to them because they can't handle it. I mean, they've spent like 300 and something. Like in the last 3 years, there's been almost $500 billion, $477 billion on just the illegal immigration deal.
Correct. No, you're absolutely right. $450 billion in the housing and caring of illegal migrants last year alone.
Since Biden came in.
Yeah. Last year alone, it was $450 billion. So it's a lot higher than that, since Biden took office. But this isn't just a South Texas problem. This is an American problem. And those cities also need to
They're
help.
realizing it now.
Yeah, it's not just our problem. What are we going to do? We don't have the manpower, the resources here in South Texas. We're small towns. If New York can't handle it, what makes you think McAllen will handle it? Mm-hmm. We won't be able to handle it. It's breaking New York. It's going to destroy McAllen. It's going to destroy Bronzeville, Harlingen, San Benito. We don't have the resources and the manpower to be able to do that. That's why we were able to bus, thousands of migrants, because they're sanctuary cities. They said that they would, welcome them. So we did just that. So why now,
Mm-hmm.
why are they hating now?
I know, right? What do we got there on the chat zone? Any more questions or anything for Mayra?
Well, we do have a regular. His name is Sal in the house.
El Paso.
He's from El Paso, and he wanted to know, do you know Tony Gonzalez fairly well? He represents that area, and is that a relationship that you guys are?
Yes, I do. I know, all the Texas delegation was always very supportive. We always met on a weekly basis when we were in session, and we tried to work together as much as we could. But yes, I got to know all members of Congress at the Texas delegation. There's so many of them, in the entire country, so it's very hard. But the Texas delegation is very strong. They always sit together as well. We're very united. And that's something that I loved.
That's good.
We're very united, and we also very respectful of each other as well. We understand that every district is different, so everybody, has to vote a certain way based on their district, and they have to listen to the people that elected them to be in that position.
And another question in the chat, just your take on Ted Cruz, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Anything in reference to Ted Cruz?
Well, I support, our senator. I think he's done a great job. He's running his own race, and I'm running my own race as well. But I support him, and I'm very proud of the work that he's done for the state of Texas. Yeah,
he's got like a couple of guys running against him. No, I don't see something like that. I don't know.
I haven't seen what his competition is.
We got to check it out because it's early voting starts tomorrow, folks.
Let me tell you, none of them support his opponents. None of them support on the Democrat part support border security. Just recently, along with my opponent, they voted against border security. Every single one of them. Wow. They're not willing to cross party lines to secure a border. I mean, there was a bill recently. One of our Border Patrol agents lost his life. What was his?
Raul Gonzalez.
Raul Gonzalez. And my opponent, Vicente Gonzalez, voted against this bill that would penalize illegal immigrants who, attacked our own Border Patrol agents. And he voted against that. He was, I guess he's okay with people crossing illegally into our country and attacking our Border Patrol agents. And these are bills that you would think he would cross party lines to support. No.
Why don't they want to support it, do you think?
Also, I think he also voted against, sending back those who are drunk driving as well. Said if you're drunk driving and you're illegally in the country, you should be sent back. You know how many lives have been lost because of that? And people think it's not going to happen to them, but it can happen to your loved one. And that's something that I think it's important that we as Americans, we need to start putting ourselves in the shoes of those people who've lost loved ones due to drunk driving, due to drugs. We're talking about drug trafficking. Fentanyl is a leading cause of death in the United States. And that's why border security is so important. And it shouldn't matter to us until it affects one of our loved ones. We need to care about it now.
Yeah.
And Vicente, if it's not impacting him, and a lot of, House Democrats, if it's not impacting them, they don't care. And it shouldn't be that way. There's a lot of things that are happening in this country that are not impacting me yet, but yet I care because I'm a Border Patrol wife, I'm a mother of 4. I just can't imagine being in those shoes. So it's so important that we start caring just as much.
When I'm in the supermarket paying my groceries, I think about the people that, that don't have enough to buy groceries. It's not, and you were talking about the minimum wage. There's also, retirees that are on a fixed income.
Absolutely, our elderly community right now on Social Security. Social Security is very important, and that's why it's so important for us to protect and expand Social Security. A lot of members, House Democrats, have continuously overspent our money, and it's affecting Social Security. That's why it's so important for us to stop the overspending and making sure that there's enough funds, there's enough money in our Social Security so our elderly are protected. This is money that they've worked hard for. It's money that we've worked hard for. And we have to make sure that it's there for them.
Yeah. Chaz, do we have any more questions there or any on the chat zone?
There's a gentleman and Mr. JCL, and he keeps asking and he wants to know. I guess he's curious. What is your heritage? I mean, do you know the specific breakdown of we know that you're from
Burgos?
Yes, Tamaulipas. But I mean, as far as your genealogy, did you ever do that genealogy where they break it down and all that stuff?
I've never done the whole DNA.
None
of that. But my grandfather is from here, from Texas, and my family goes back from here, from Texas. Mm-hmm. My grandfather from my mom's side, his family founded Victoria, Texas, and there's a statue there of Martín de León.
Yes.
And that's from my family on my mom's side, because I'm Mayra Flores de León from my mom's side. So a lot of the De León family is from there, from Victoria, Texas. So a lot of my family is from here, from Texas. Honestly, my grandpa fell in love with my grandma, who was from Mexico, and moved to Tamaulipas. Really? My grandma did not want to come here, so he just raised his family there in Burgos and started a farm. But my grandfather was born here in Rojondo. Wow. And later on moved to Mexico. But yeah, most of my family is from here, from Texas. I don't know someone else back. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that girl from The View, Sunny Hostin? You know who that is?
I did.
You know who that is, Chaz?
No, what's the stat? What
is that? Well, she's Puerto Rican, right?
Okay.
And she's always screaming about reparations, and that she's owed reparations because she comes from a slave family. And
So
this and that.
she's owed. Does she say?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's all about that. Reparations, of course, is for everybody to pay her for
Her
what
aid-
happened in the
yeah.
slavery days or whatever.
That's right.
So she went and she did this. There's this show on PBS where the man.
Oh, where they go back in time
and they
then
find out your heritage and
what
your,
did it say?
her ancestors were from Spain. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And-
European.
And
Yeah.
own slaves.
And owned slaves. They were in the slave business.
Wow.
And so she said, I thought I was just Puerto Rican. And he goes, well, they moved from Spain to Puerto Rico because they outlawed slavery in Spain. So they went to Puerto Rico where it was still legal. So they could continue the slave business.
Wow.
She owes us money now.
And you should have seen her face when they told her
As
this,
I
bro.
drop.
And then there's like,
She started to shrink.
I always thought I was just Puerto Rican, But man, everybody shat on her, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was loving it. Ándale pa' que se te quite.
I don't understand people that watch The View. I'm not a woman, right? But do women watch that show or what? Why is it still on? I don't. Do people actually see that show?
I think they've cornered their demographic, and the people who watch it are going to watch it, and that's it.
And that's it.
What is
true.
your guilty pleasure? What is your show? You know what? I'm tired. I want to relax. What do you go to, and what do you watch at night that it just makes you relax?
I watch like old school novelas. I love telenovelas.
Like Luz Clarita or what?
Like, no.
Dos mujeres y un camino.
Rubí. I'm still watching Teresa, Rubí, El vuelo del águila. I mean, I just love watching Spanish novelas, but like the old school ones, the ones that we grew up in.
Rosa Salvaje.
Destilando Amor is one of my favorites.
Pues yo y Chaz somos puro Young and the Restless. Porque,
Yeah. Puro Victor Newman.
General Hospital.
Victor Newman.
Who the hell is Victor Newman, dude? I never heard of that one.
That's from Young and the Restless.
From Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless. Oh, yeah, he knows characters.
I do, yeah.
Oye, ¿no te gusta ver reality TV, nada de eso?
No tengo mucho tiempo, pero I do watch novelas. And like, honestly, like, I've been watching one that's called El Maleficio right now. That's the one I'm watching.
What about YouTube? Like, what do you like to surf through on YouTube? Like,
I'm hardly ever on
No?
YouTube. I'm just not so much like.
yo soy puro YouTube cuando estoy en el sofá. And my goddaughter.
You know what? I was on YouTube the other day, but I was looking up Betty La Fea. So I love Betty La Fea, but the original.
Oh, yo creía que ibas a decir I was looking up hashtag PVT.
No. I was looking.
That too. That was this weekend.
I was looking up Betty La Fea, pero la original, creo que es de Colombia, no la de México, la original, Betty La Fea. And I found it. I was so happy. I've already watched it, but I wanted to watch it all over again. So,
Do you watch any Netflix series? Did you ever watch Breaking Bad or Narcos Mexico or any of those? Or
I couldn't keep up,
Queen
but
of the South?
Or the new one
Like-
with Sofia Vergara.
I haven't seen it. A lot of people have been telling me about it. I haven't seen it. But I did watch La Reina del Sur, pero not
But
the
that was with
English.
Kate de
Kate del Castillo.
Kate
in
del
Telemundo.
Castillo, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I didn't watch the
English
English
one.
version, no. I did watch early on Narcos, but they've had so many.
Well, the
I can't
Colombia
keep up.
was it was all the beginning, the Colombia with Escobar, and then it turned into Narcos Mexico, and that's when I was like, "Órale, esos vatos, I kind of like relate to these guys, with Gallardo and all those, man. It was pretty intense. And then, of course, Breaking Bad. Have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
No.
It's about a teacher that finds out he has cancer, so he starts cooking meth. He's like a chemistry teacher.
Chemistry teacher.
And all the show is just little chemistry.
I'll definitely look it up.
It is a trip. It is an amazing. It's like 13 seasons or how many?
I don't know.
No,
It's
it's
a
like
lot.
10
It's
seasons.
a lot
Yeah.
of
I saw
seasons.
Yellowstone. Yellowstone was probably
Okay,
the one.
I did watch Yellowstone.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Nunca
like,
se acabó pinche Yellowstone. Chingando bien enojado con ese jaleo.
No, yeah. I did.
Yeah, it should finish. Right?
Pues el Sheridan, el que corre todo el
Taylor?
show. Yeah, he's suing, Rip.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
Rip has a coffee shop in San Angelo.
I saw that.
My cousin went to get coffee and he came out with it. You were like, oh.
I love the show. I love the politics
Uh-huh.
too. And when he ran for governor, and I was like, that's right, he's running as a Republican.
Yeah. And Kevin Costner.
He's
Are they ever going to finish that thing?
They are
Yeah.
supposed to.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope so. I think there's probably like 5. I want to know what the hell's going to happen to Jamie, and all that.
it's a good show. I loved it.
Did you ever see the movie Monarca?
No.
It was about a family from Mexico that has a tequila industry.
I saw, the trailer, but I never got to
2
see it.
seasons. And at the end of the second season, they left us with a cliffhanger. We're like, can't wait. Nunca lo hicieron. They stopped doing it.
They did. They couldn't. They couldn't decide, or they couldn't agree on like money and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Like payroll or
I
whatever.
hate when they do that.
It was like,
It was
man,
terrible.
That's why I don't like getting into all those series, because then it's addicting, and I'd rather just watch like a movie. It's 1 hour, 2 hours, and then that's it. But when you have to watch, all these series, I don't have all the time.
I know, right? You're really busy. You've got a campaign to run.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's
kinda hard.
Mayra Flores for Congress.com. That's the website. You can go and help her out. And, and don't forget to vote tomorrow.
Don't forget to vote. It's so important. A lot of people for a long time, stay home. And it's so important that with everything that's happening in our country, if you're not happy with the cost of living, you're not happy with the education, with healthcare, you're not happy with the border situation and the handling of our money in government, if you want changes, it's so important that you make an educated vote. Do your research. Don't just vote for someone, just because. No, do your research on each candidate. Don't be loyal to no political party. Make sure that the person that you're voting for is actually going to do well for you, for your family, for your community. And I'm all about South Texas. I grew up here. I just want to see us thrive, and I just want them to see us. Hey, we're here. South Texas is also part of the United States of America.
Yeah.
You go down South Texas, we're still Texas.
We got Elon Musk here now.
Exactly. And
He found out.
I'm so grateful to him for all the investments that he's made here in South Texas, and I was so proud when he he put out there that he voted for me. I was the first Republican that he ever voted for. I was very proud of that, because I'm very grateful to him for investing in South Texas, for believing in us, because we're people of faith, we're people of strong family values, but the work ethic. When I went to Starbase, I went there and they showed me everything, inside out. Mm-hmm. And what I loved, it was the music that they were playing, corridos, I remember listening to, they were all listening to Intocable when Intocable, they were listening to all types of music,
awesome.
Era la raza trabajando allí, mm-hmm. And it made me so proud. They stopped everything, and, they allowed me to speak with them, and I just thank them for their hard work and for being so inspiring. They're like, no, you inspire us. I was like, no, you inspire me. Look at y'all, here. Look at the raza, making it happen here at Starbase. And the majority was people like us working there.
Sí.
I was so proud when I had the opportunity to
visit. I wanted to ask Mayra something real quick here. You guys stated earlier, to recap, because a lot of people were not on that, a lot of the money going across overseas should be brought back in. But what is your take on funding anything as far as Ukraine or Israel? Like, should it be portioned, or what is your take on, or should a certain part be allocated, or how much or how little is your take on either Ukraine or Israel or both? Or?
Look, we've given Ukraine over $450 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more than that. And I think it's enough.
Mm-hmm. Almost $500 billion?
Yeah, or more. Honestly. And it's just a huge disrespect. I don't think we should be giving any money to Ukraine. Mm-hmm. I think we should listen to the people. Hey, take polls. How does the American people feel? And that elected officials vote on that. Look, my district does not support us sending any more money to Ukraine. Then vote against it. Because I'm in the ground and I'm talking to people, and they don't want any more funding to be sent to Ukraine. Look, Israel is going through a very difficult, time with the recent attack. And Hamas is a threat not just to Israel, it's a threat to the world. But we also have the cartel here as well, doing horrible things to the people in Mexico. Why is no one rising up to that? Feels like they only care when it happens abroad, but it's happening to our neighboring country here in Mexico. The things that Hamas is doing in Israel, the cartel is doing to the people in Mexico. Why are we only seeing a rise for over there and not here? So it's important that we support Israel. I do support Israel and their right to defend themselves, but we should be focusing on securing our border.
Is there a lot of cartel money in government, do you think?
I wouldn't know, things like that, but I do know that the cartel is making $13 billion a year in human trafficking. And that has empowered them. And they're abusing, raping women, killing women. They're killing thousands of people in Mexico, kidnapping thousands, and unless you have money, they'll go out and look for you. But if you don't have a name, if you're nobody, they're not going to find you. There's been over 100,000 people disappear in Mexico, and they're never found because they're not people with money. They don't have the name, and they never receive justice. So it's important that we focus on our neighboring country and helping our neighbors as well. That's why border security is so important to me. We cannot help protect other people's borders if we're not protecting our borders. So I'm all for supporting Israel, because I do support Israel and their right to defend themselves. But we have to support also protecting our own borders. That should be first. But of course, I think with Israel it's very different because of what they're going through. And so it's important that we support them.
Any other questions there, Chaz, for Mayra?
And from Monica Ramos, she wants to recap it and say, man, you look like Selena.
Gracias. Gracias.
That's what you call it, going full circle.
Gracias.
We have a picture here
What
of
an
you
honor.
and President Trump, right? You got to. So there's Mayra with President Trump, and then there's a quote there that he says, in Congress, Mayra will secure our border, protect our communities, champion American energy, and defend our Second Amendment. Mayra won a historic special election in 2022, and I look forward to working with her to take back Texas 34 from the Democrats. An original member of my Texas elected leadership team, Mayra Flores, has my complete and total endorsement, President Donald J. Trump. How does that feel?
I'm very proud. He's a good man. I wish everyone got to know him. He's very humble. He treats you like, with respect. He doesn't act like he's a former president. He acts like he's one of you. He gets to your eye level. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the first time, I spoke with him, and I just wished everybody got to see that side. And I'm constantly, that day I got to meet him, and I've met him a couple of times, and I've always told him, like, stay humble, allow people to get to know you for who you are. And he's grew up in New York, and now, of course, he lives in Florida. So he has his own way of expressing. But I do want people to know that he's a good man. He's a humble man. He just wants to put the American people first. And look, we want all presidents to put their countries first, right?
I would imagine that, right?
We do. Look at the president in El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, who I respect for what he's done to El Salvador. El Salvador was one of the most dangerous countries, and now it's one of the safest in Latin America.
I heard he built a prison that's like 4 football stadiums big.
Yes.
Oh, for the Mara Salvatrucha
Yeah.
guy? Is that the gentleman? That, yeah.
Yes. Nayib Bukele is an amazing president. I have so much respect for him. Honestly, I look forward to one day meeting him. But we need more presidents like him in Latin America. We need more presidents like him in the entire world, because we want people to be able to stay in their countries and accomplish the Mexican dream, right? And accomplish the El Salvador dream. Mm-hmm. People want to stay in their country. A lot of them, of course, leave because of different reasons, but we want to be able to allow them to stay in their country and support presidents like Nayib Bukele. In Argentina recently, I think his name is President Milei, just got recently elected. Also a strong Argentina first, and wanting, to get his country back in back where it was before. And I think we need more presidents like them. And President Trump is that president. Law and order.
Well, it's going to be tomorrow. This is a primary vote.
Primary. So
primary.
In order to,
early voting.
In order to vote for Mayra Flores, in order to vote for President Trump, you do have to ask for a Republican ballot. And it's important. It's important that you support us because, like I said, we're just wanting to put South Texas first, and we're just wanting to put our country first. So if you want secure borders and if you want a strong economy, I'm the one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayra Flores for Congress.com is the website. And once again, early voting, it begins tomorrow. And it'll run for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. It'll start tomorrow and end March 1st. And then on March 5th, you have Election Day. And you got to get out there and vote, folks. All right? Yep. So before we leave, what happened with Nancy Pelosi and your daughter? I know that was one of the viral videos that was at a couple of years ago, last year, something like that.
Yeah.
So apparently Nancy Pelosi pushed your daughter out of the way or something like that, or what happened?
She did, and unfortunately I didn't see it when it happened, but I was very proud of my daughter, how she just, didn't let face her. She just went back into position, and she was ready to take her picture. But it did happen. But it just shows you how,
But was it intentional, or was it she just like?
I mean, of course. How do you just push someone? She could have gently, brought her.
A ver, mijita, muévete un poquito para allá, mamacita.
Who just elbows,
a child.
A child. Who does that? It was horrible. And I didn't see it, but my dad called me. He's like, mi hija la empujó. Yo vi que la empujó. Yo, papá, no, yo estaba ahí. Yo no vi nada. No, que te estoy diciendo que la empujó. And then I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh. But I was so proud of my daughter because she just didn't let it face her. She went back into position and took the picture. But my kids are not on social media or anything, so she didn't know all this was happening. So when school started in August, she comes back to me after first day of school, and she was like, Mom, Nancy pushed me. I was like, where is this from? And she's like, yes, my friend saw how Nancy pushed me, and she didn't even know, she didn't remember who Nancy is. And I'm like, and I showed her, is this what you're talking about? And she said, yes. And I said, don't worry, you're okay. And she said, yes, but my friend saw it. So that was a part that, that I didn't like. But thank God they were not making fun of her or anything like that. They were just telling her that they saw it on social media. That's the part that I
it was all over the place. It went viral, this stuff.
That's the part that I didn't like because, our little one shouldn't have to deal with none of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayra Flores for Congress.com is the website. Today's show has been brought to you by the campaign to re-elect Congresswoman Mayra Flores, strong like you, God, family, and country. And any other questions before we leave, Chaz? Any last shout-outs or anything you want to do?
Just a lot of support. A lot of people saying thank you for doing what you're doing. And they stay on track. And thank you for representing.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was an honor to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Mayra. Appreciate
Happy
you.
to be here. Can't wait to be back.
Yeah, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we're almost at 30,000. We're about 120 subscribers away from 30,000 subscribers. So we're almost there, probably at the end of the week.
200.
200?
About 200.
We're about 200? Okay. And this Wednesday, we have Conjunto legend Pepe Maldonado is going to be here. That'll be interesting to have him here, ladies and gentlemen. Un puro conjunto, una musiquita con acordeón y todo. Y pues he's got La Lomita there on Ware Road and 107 here in McAllen. And it's like one of those traditional every Sunday tardeada con un conjunto, dos conjuntos, bring your own beer and all that. And it's going to be fun to have him here. Pepe Maldonado is going to be here. He's got plenty of road stories, man.
Yeah,
Guy's about 80-something.
I can't wait to hear what Pepe says about Ukraine as well.
Yeah. No, fíjate que ahí tocamos en Ukraine una vez. Fuimos en la Station One y...
De seguro que sí.
Yeah.
No me ponte trucha ahí.
No, dile que se va para Burgos.
Yeah, Burgos.
Dile que se va a tocar a Burgos.
Ay, no más, para tener unos guapanguitos, papá, asústame, que sea el piso de madera, para que se oigan los tacones cuando andan pegando, papá. Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, Mayra Flores for Congress.com. Mayra Flores, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. God bless
Órale.
y'all. Good night.
Asústame one time. Everybody wave at the camera.
Bye.
Nos vemos el
Good night,
miércoles.
y'all.